Um, Welcome to Someone Six Sports Blizzard Talk Show with guest Reid.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Just ready to talk about the Bills win over the Ravens this past Sunday.
Yeah, what a game. What a game that was, huh?
Yeah, the game where they almost lost to a 2 point conversion.
Yeah, but it was meant to be. It was meant to be. Bills have often been on the other side of that, haven't we? With something going wrong at the last second, and then our season ends all of a sudden. Um, it's nice to be on the other side of it for once.
Were you at that game on Sunday?
Yep, I was there with my wife. We showed up a few hours before kickoff. We visited with some friends. We did some tailgating. Um, it was really fun. It was a unique experience because I don't know if you saw the Bills fan documentary that is being made right now, the Just One Before I Die, and they had a couple different crews there throughout the stadium filming like with different fans, and I was one of the fans that they were kind of filming. So every time something happened, they'd turn around and they'd like get a view of me, like how I was reacting. It felt really weird, kind of like in a fishbowl, but it was a really cool experience. And it was nice to have them film me celebrating and not being sad.
Um, I I think you know one of my friends that is part of Bill's Mafia. Um, Leslie and Ashley.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are some of the people I saw before the game. Absolutely. Yep. Good people. Yeah, I've known Leslie for let's see, 20, shoot, like 15 years now, I think almost through social media, and then we became like real life friends and family friends and everything. And I've known Ashley just about as long, ever since the early Bills Mafia days.
Um, how did the phrase Bill's Mafia come to make it as a hashtag?
Yeah, so it's a funny story. I was just joking around with Leslie and Breon and a few other Bills fans. There's two different guys named Ryan on there, and another guy named Adam, and um, we were just goofing around, and um, we were teasing Adam Schefter after Stevie's drop in 2010, and he blocked a bunch of us, and so I just called us the Bills Mafia, just as a joke. I wasn't trying to start anything. It was really just a one-off tweet, and what about as viral as I guess tweets can go, right? Turned into like the name of the fan base now, so that's really strange. Um, but yeah, it was just a joke, tongue-in-cheek joke that took off and became something much bigger than anything I would have ever imagined.
Um, how did the 26 shirts become a store and all that?
Yeah, so a couple of years into Bill's Mafia, um, Leslie and Bree and I, we were trying to find different ways to fundraise. So we would do these different tailgates and fundraiser events. And a couple years into it, I had the idea to sell a different shirt every 2 weeks for a year, and that's all it was going to be. It was just a 1 year project. 52 divided by 2 is 26. That's where the name comes from. Um, and so I started it with the help of a excuse me, a local T-shirt shop, and um, it just became wildly popular. And it was it was one of those things. It's kind of like destiny, I guess. So a couple years into it, and I was just doing it for fun as a hobby, really. Just doing these T-shirt fundraisers. Got laid off from my job, and then the gentleman that who owned the company that I was working with, Dan, he said, "Hey, why don't you join me and we'll split this business 50-50." And so became my job. So that's I just wanted to help people and then just continue to grow and grow. And eventually, now it's all I do.
And sometimes um I catch you on channel 4 for the morning news.
Yeah, yeah. So Channel 4 has been really gracious, and they love what we do, and they love being able to share the stories, of the people that we're helping. And so it's a very gracious of them to have me come on. And in fact, I'll be on tomorrow during the 4 o'clock hour later in the afternoon, talking about our new "City of Losers" T-shirt that we released yesterday.
Um how do you feel about the game this week?
I am optimistic, to be honest with you. There's something in my heart that tells me this is it. Obviously, my heart could be wrong, but it just feels like there's some destiny going on with this team, and they've proven, they've beaten the Chiefs. When you think about it, I think it was 3 out of the past 4 times. Obviously, they lose in the playoffs, but um, all things being equal, they've not struggled with the Chiefs. Now we've had some tough losses in the playoffs, but even both those games, they came down to the wire, right? One was overtime, and that actually changed the way the rules or the games even played in overtime. And then it was a last second, missed field goal, and they were leading at halftime in that game, and that's in the playoffs. And then we saw what happened this regular season. So I think the Bills have earned our trust going into this week.
Who do you see winning between the Commanders and the Eagles?
That's a really good question. Jaden Daniels is fun to watch. I mean, he is fun to watch. And now he's a young quarterback, but he's got a pretty seasoned coach in Dan Quinn. Like Dan Quinn took the Falcons to the Super Bowl, so um, it's not like this elements of this team haven't been there before. Obviously, quarterback is the biggest, um, most important position on the team. Um, but also the Eagles have been quietly good all year long. They've got a 2,000-yard rusher in Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts is a talented dude. So that's a great question. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Commanders just because I think it'll be really fun to see Jaden Daniels on that stage. I think it's a really cool story. I really like that kid. So yeah, maybe we'll get a rematch, Super Bowl 26 rematch.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels is a fun guy to watch, and so is Jalen Hurts too. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's another guy that you can watch. And
Yeah, I love Jalen Hurts. He's been my dynasty fantasy league. I've had him for a few years now. I traded. I don't know if you know Bruce exclusive on Twitter, Bruce Nolan. I traded him a few years ago, and I got Jalen Hurts. I always remind him now and then. I'll text him and I'll say Jalen says hi. But Bruce is doing fine in that league. He's won like 2 out of the past 3 or 3 out of the past 4 um, championships in that league. So I can only tease a little bit, but yeah, Jalen Hurts is great and he performs. So I mean, this is going to be a great game. It's going to be. Unfortunately, I'm not going to enjoy it because all I'm going to be doing is thinking about the Bills game. It'll be right after it, but it's going to be a good game.
and someone just came in the comments here.
My guy Josh, what's up, Josh?
Yeah, Famer.
Yep.
And do you think the Chiefs game is going to be like one of those games where they make it close at the end?
Man, I hope not. I think wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice for the Bills to just get up early and just stay on them the whole game. Wouldn't that just be the most wonderful thing? I don't know if that's going to happen, but it probably will come down to the wire. They always do. But um, I think Bills fans would really be happy to just. We don't have to blow them out, but it would be nice to have at least be ahead by double digits for the whole game. I think that would be fun. Now I'm pretty old, so I remember the 1990 season, and I was 15 years old, and I remember that championship game against the Raiders, where the Bills won 51-3, and they were up 41-3 at halftime, and the entire second half was just celebrating going to the Super Bowl. So, um, wouldn't that be nice if we could have an experience like that? That'd be great. I'm not expecting it, but it'd be great.
Famer asks, "What's up?"
Not much, not much. Just shoveling all day, and then back here mixing it up.
And yeah, don't pay attention to him.
I saw that.
Um,
Well, I'll ask you. Let me ask you. What do you think is going to happen this week with these two games?
um, I think that the like Josh Allen, I think he could be good. And I'm hoping for a James Cook, like 100 yards
Mm.
or him getting 2 touchdowns.
All right, all right. That's a bold prediction. Let's see if we get it. I like that. You know, how do you think? Do you think they're going to use Amari Cooper?
I think they could use him against them, but I haven't seen them using him very
No.
often.
Yeah, I wonder how much. I wonder how that's working out. I think it's great that they have him. It's somebody that the defense has to like take account for when he's on the field. He's not out there every play, but um, yeah, it's interesting. Like I'm not complaining about it. Like, hey, whatever they're doing is working. Don't mess with it. But I also like that the Bills passing game didn't really go off this past week. So I think that there's an opportunity for them to light it up this week. Yeah, I agree with the commenter there. Then I do think that he's played a decoy role. The defense has to take account for him. You cannot let Amari Cooper just running around, followed by your CB2 or your safety or anything like that.
Um, do you think the Bills, like, once they win this game and make it to the big game, um, do you think they would have like a watch party at the stadium or something for the fans?
That's a great question. I know they're doing. I got an email from the Bills today. They're advertising the Riverworks watch party that they're going to have for the championship game. So maybe they'll do it at Riverworks. Maybe they do it at the stadium. I probably depend on the weather. I mean, if it's 5 degrees outside like it is right now, I don't know if I want to be. Um, I don't know if I want to be outside for that long to watch a game on a big screen as opposed to being in person. But um, yeah, yeah, I think it'll probably end up being at Riverworks.
Um, how did like the Bills Mafia, like the Babes part come about with them?
Yeah, so that's all Kristen Kimmick. That's her baby. That is, it's an effort that she runs just to let women have a safe space to talk sports, among themselves. They've been doing that for several years, and then a couple of years ago, we were able to partner up with them and help them with their merchandising because I love what they do. But that's a story for Chris. That's a question for Kristen. You should probably have her on. She can give you the whole story. I don't want to steal her thunder.
Yeah, I got to meet her once.
Yeah,
Um, it was at an event somewheres. Um, Out in Orchard Park there.
cool, 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 cool. What about the Commanders and the Eagles? What do you think is going to happen?
Famer brought up a good question there for you.
Defense is going to have to get a turnover with the game, I think. Otherwise, tough to be. Yeah, yeah. That's the Bills are playing two different teams, aren't they, this week?
Yeah, that
They,
they're playing the Chiefs and they're also playing against the officiating.
doesn't that stink? That's part of the reason why, like, I really want to see them get out ahead so that um, you can outpace the refs. So if they're always up by 10 or 13, 14 points, all the calls in the world, aren't going to be able to fix that. So if you have a wide enough gap, there's room for those kind of shenanigans. But I hope they're disciplined. I hope the defense is disciplined and they don't give the refs opportunities to award, um, ridiculous penalties to the Chiefs and everything because we've seen that, and it's wild too. It is interesting also that how much scrutiny is on the officials this week. Like you see it all over the place on the national media, you know, everywhere. It just seems that everybody is talking about how the refs favor the Chiefs, and that's maybe they're going to overcorrect. Maybe they'll overcorrect and they'll maybe lean a little bit towards the Bills. It kind of stinks that we have to even think that way, but it just feels these past several years that that's often what's going on.
Um, did you see the game against Houston when Mahomes went out of bounds, but he kind of like stopped short and then flopped?
Yeah, I saw that. That was a we were watching it at my in-laws' house, and that is the biggest flop. I know Josh Allen flops, but that was yeah, that was crazy. Gets away with it though, so why wouldn't you do it?
And then um when I think it was Jared Goff for the Lions and
Oh yeah,
somebody somebody came
mm-hmm.
up and hit him.
On that pick six.
I I
Was it a
I
pick six or interception? I think it was a pick six. But yeah, he got lit up. He got lit up, and there was no laundry at all on the field.
yeah, there was no flag.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think that's what they're trying to get out of the game is that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I just want them to call it fairly. That's all. Just call it fairly.
Um, do you think Von Miller will end up getting a pick and taking it back to the house or getting it to
I
the 50?
I think it's going to depend where he gets that pick if he gets one because uh, that old man doesn't have the gas that he had. You see him running last week on the fumble recovery, but how cool was that to see that play just develop and for Von Miller to be the one to run it there? That was really cool. That big free agency signing that they brought into the playoffs for they signed him for a presence in the playoffs primarily.
Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Um, well, first of all, again, thank you for having me on. This has been fun. But if I have a question, I think it would be well, how long you been doing this show?
About, I think about 3 years or so.
Three years, cool. And it took you that long to ask me, huh? No, man. I think this has been great. I think you're doing an excellent job with it. Um, my question, I guess, would be if the Bills are able to win it all, what are you doing the next day? Like, what's your plan? Do you have a plan? Like what you would even do? Like, are you gonna go to the parade, or if there's a parade, or what are you gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen to you when the Bills win it?
I would maybe try to get in contact with you or like Ashley or someone and just like talk about the game or try to get out to the um events that happen.
Oh man, can you imagine? It's gonna be so much fun. It'll be so much fun. We gotta get past this game first, and then we have to win the next game. But this could be it. This could be it. I
They
didn't know to believe he was so slow.
the,
He just needs
yeah,
that burst. Miller just
yeah,
needs that burst. Just he only needs like 3 seconds of speed, right? Just to not even just to get around the end or to get around the tackle rather, and get that quarterback.
yeah. They were at the game too.
Oh yeah, that was a fun game. That was a fun. I didn't even feel that cold. Like as cold as it was, it didn't feel that cold.
Oh, he's talking about my dog, I
Oh,
think.
taking Duke on a tour.
Um, and like reconnecting with some of the other content creators
Mm-hmm.
that talk about the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell you what, if they win it all, get me back on here. We'll talk on. I'll talk for an hour. We'll talk forever about it.
And like if the Bills like if they win the Super Bowl, um who do you think would be your early MVP for the Super Bowl?
It would have to be Josh, right? I mean, barring anything wild happening, um, like if they have some game plan where it's James Cook running for 200 yards or something, I would have to imagine it's Josh Allen though. I mean, that's seems like that's the way it normally goes for the Super Bowls. Is more often than not, it's the winning quarterback, which is kind of like unoriginal. I'd like it to be something like it was cool that Jerry Rice was the MVP and Super Bowl 24, and um, there's one Super Bowl where actually the losing team had the MVP. I think it was one of the ones with the Raiders. I can't remember. And my opinion was always that in Super Bowl 25, Thurman Thomas should have been the MVP. If you watch that game, he's just a machine. He completely took over the game when he had the opportunity. Unfortunately, they didn't have that many opportunities because the Giants, only, had the ball for something like 42 minutes or something like that. Shakir, yeah, I don't care who the Super Bowl MVP is. To be honest with you, as long as the team is lifting the trophy, I don't care if it's the last guy on the bench.
I like what's his name? The offensive coordinator, Joe Brady
Mm-hmm.
and and the other coordinator, Bobby.
Bobby Babich.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
it
they've done
seems
a
like
really good
a
job.
and And his name is kind of cool
Bobby Babich.
because it's like two B's. So
Yep, yep. It's got some nice alliteration going on there.
in in Joe Brady's doing good with um like Josh Allen and all them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like how Joe Brady has emphasized the run game in this offense because it felt like whether it was Ken Dorsey or even elements of even with Brian Dable, they were relying so much on Josh. I mean, look at this past game. He had like what 127 yards passing. It was a team win, and I really like the emphasis that they have placed on the run game. And they have got three studs at running back, not to mention Josh himself as well. So I really do, yeah. And we have a great point here. Joe Brady's been a huge improvement from Ken Dorsey. Better situational football. Absolutely, absolutely. Could not agree more. He's been a huge upgrade. Probably not going to have him next year, so I really hope they win this. If they win the Super Bowl, I don't care. Like, dude, go be a head coach somewhere. Go do whatever. Like, we got ours. We'll figure it out. But he's been so great. I don't want him to leave until we've got that championship because I don't want to have to go back another step. Even if it's something minor if they were to promote somebody. But I don't know. We'll see. Wish him the best if that's the case.
Um, what do you think of the new coach over in Chicago that went from the the Lions, Ben Johnson?
Yeah, I saw him greeting all the staff at the Bears facility today. They released a little video, and I like him. He's got some energy. He's young. He seems like he's on a mission. He knows exactly what he wants to do. So it's gonna be fun to see. I like this trend because for so long it was always the same dudes just getting jobs here. And it was always like this. It was like the same 35, 36 guys who just like were taking turns being coaches and then going back to coordinator and then going back to coach. It just felt like it was constant recycling. I really like in the past, 10 years or so how it's been a lot of young guys coming up and running. Now it's not rare to have, or it's not unusual to have a coach who is younger than some of his players. I think that's wild to me. But I like Ben Johnson. I think he's going to do some good things in Chicago, and I like his quarterback, and I think that he can probably unlock some things with him.
Famer wrote he likes your idea, but he says let's give the MVP to Deion Dawkins, 73 on the Bills.
Yeah, he's had a great season, hasn't he? I see all the time. I think it's Brian Baldinger is often like tweeting or talking about how great Dion and Spencer Brown are on the ends of the offensive line. So that'd be unusual though for a tackle to get the most valuable player, but who knows?
How how many years has your business been going for?
Yeah, so we just passed our 11th anniversary back in November, so that makes me feel really old. And but yeah, so we've been doing this for over a decade now, which is very surreal to me. Um, but it is it's a fun ride. We have a lot of fun doing it, and we're not out of ideas yet for shirts. So we're gonna keep going.
I see sometimes in your videos you have Andrew Baglini doing weather reports.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's a former television weatherman, so it's it's fun when he's able to use that skill set for something a little fun. And Josh and I always have fun doing some of those stupid skit that we never know what we're gonna. We sit down and say, okay, what are we gonna say? So we plan it out like normally like 2 minutes before we film it. But Um, yeah, we have a good time, and Andrew does a great job with the weather. I think it's a fun little um, piece that we can share on social media. Weather on the 26th is ridiculous. It was fun.
Um, do you have a new show coming out? Because I've seen it advertised a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah, so I just launched a new show with Bruckman Media called Mafia Family Ties, and it's been a cool opportunity to talk with some of my fan friends, some of the famous or semi familiar faces in the fan base. So um, I had the opportunity to interview John Lang, Bill's Elvis, a couple episodes ago, and then this past episode was Pinto Ron, Kenny Johnson, which was really cool. Him sharing like his experiences, and then we got some cool guests on deck for the next few iterations. So um, keep an eye out for that. We're hoping to have it up hopefully very soon. So
Yeah, Ken Johnson just had his 500th
yeah,
game.
yeah, it's a lot of games. It's a lot of games. He's a legend. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet too. He's just the nicest guy.
What about Bill's Elvis? How long has he been doing it?
Bill's Elvis, he has been doing that. I think he said for about 25 years. I know we mentioned it in the interview. I think it was like 99 or 98. It was somewhere around the turn of the century, that sounds really old when you say it like that. But he's been doing it for around 20, 25 years, and he did it as a bet with a friend, and it just kind of like became a tradition. So nicest guy, and I love how he uses his Bill's Elvis persona for good. So he does a fundraising tailgate every year in Lockport, and good dude.
Um, do you have um any links to share to promote yourself?
Well, yeah, I would say 26shirts.com. Head over there. We're always launching a new shirt every week, and sometimes a couple shirts a week. And every shirt we sell gives back to a local family in need or a local nonprofit. So yeah, 26shirts.com. And then you can check out the new Mafia Family Ties podcast on YouTube and on Facebook.
It it was fun to talk about the Bills and have you on the show.
It was a pleasure to be on. I appreciate it, man. I've been looking forward to this, and thanks for your patience. Like I said, I was having a hard time getting the connection set up here, but I'm glad we got it figured out, and I really appreciate the invite.
It and it was fun to meet you the one time when we went into the store there.
Yeah, yeah. You and Josh came by. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun showing you everything. Is that when you got the shirt, or have you had that shirt for a while? I
Yeah,
can't remember. Was that then? All right, good stuff.
and hopefully the Bills, and the refs just don't interfere with our momentum.
Yeah, with our destiny. Right, get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Let us have this. We'll take it. Don't have to give it to us. We'll take it. But let's get after it. I'm ready. I'm all. It's Tuesday. I'm already ready for Sunday.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.